So for the past week I've been playing the Nintendo Switch OLED model. I picked it up the same day as Metroid Dread, and I thought I'd make a video basically giving my opinion on whether I think the OLED is worth picking up if you already have a Switch. Now, the Switch I've had for nearly 4 years. It's the original Switch that was released with the not so great battery life. And going to the OLED, I have to say, well, I don't think I'd ever go back. The OLED is a great little console. For me personally, no, it's not the Switch Pro, which everybody wants, and I don't understand why. I mean, I keep saying it, I would always keep saying it, 4K and 179 million frames per second does not make games great, does not make great games. Games are great for being what they are. Games is how they play, the story, the mechanics, that kind of thing. That's what's important. But what does the OLED actually do? Well, the OLED, instead of having a 6.2 inch screen, has a 7 inch screen, and that doesn't seem a lot different, but when you're playing it handheld, absolutely it is a lot different. The color is amazing. The colors are brighter. They pop out the screen more. You will really notice it if you do go back. Because I still have my Switch. I've given it to my daughter, but I use the OLED. And you just, it's insane. It's so vivid and it feels so alive. And of course that vivid setting can be turned off if it starts to melt your eyes. You know, like that scene in Indiana Jones.
Don't look right! Keep your eyes shut!
But of course I'm not a punk bitch, so I like keeping the vivid colours on. The sound quality is also miles better. It is so loud, it's incredible, and the sounds are a lot clearer as well. And the battery life, I haven't fully tested it from start to finish because I have 2 young children and a full-time job, so the time to be able to play it extensively in one go is quite limited. But I've gotten nearly around or just over 6 hours of playtime and only used, what, maybe 3/4 of the battery? Maybe? So I'm guessing it's a good 8 hours, 9, depending on the game you're playing and the graphics it will need to carry on with. Obviously the kickstand, everybody's talked about that. The kickstand is a hell of a lot better. It's wider, it's made of some form of metal, and it's a lot stiffer to control, so it's not floppy whatsoever, it's quite rigid. You know, there's all kinds of innuendos I could go rocking with there, but I'm just not going to do it. Also, the Joy-Cons connect a hell of a lot better. Like, it feels sturdier. Because on the original Switch, the Joy-Cons obviously connect to it, but they can feel a bit wobbly sometimes. Maybe that's just through age and use. But with the OLED, it doesn't. They connect and it just feels really sturdy. Of course, with the back and all that being made of some kind of metal and whatnot, and having the OLED screen and technology for that, the console is a little heavier, but I don't mind that. And like I said, the back isn't plastic, so you can't get your fingers don't sweat on the back, and it doesn't get as hot. The OLED gets nowhere near as hot as my original Switch did. That thing would start, you could fry an egg on the back of that bad boy after a few hours of going on it. Another feature they've added into the dock is on the inside, when you slot your Switch into it, the bits that hold it in there, they're rubberized. So as with the original Switch, they were plastic, and the bezel around my original Switch's screen does have scratches on from where my kids kept putting the Switch in and picking it back up again. It did scratch the screen. Here they seem to have rectified that by making it by putting the inside bits as rubber, so that I really did appreciate. And of course it has the Lan Ports on the dock as well, and it works really well. And I've had games download faster with it docked. I've had no issues whatsoever with online multiplayer games. Smash Brothers works perfectly most of the time. If there's an issue with connection, it's on somebody else's end. But yeah, do I recommend the Switch OLED? Absolutely. I think it's a brilliant upgrade to the original Switch in many ways, with the battery, the screen, the fact that games just look great. The screen looks so good that when I put it in docked mode onto my gaming monitor, which is designed for gaming, it doesn't look nowhere near as colourful, nowhere near as good. So I think I'm going to have to invest in an OLED gaming monitor now, because I've been ruined. I've been ruined by the OLED, and I need more of that in my life. But if you have the original Switch like I had, then yes, it's a viable upgrade, and I think it's worth it. if you have a Switch Lite, yes, it's worth it because it's great in a preferable way. Maybe they'll make a Switch Lite OLED model in the future, maybe, now that they've fiddled about with the technology a bit. But yeah, of course, all the internal sort of like the way the games run, there's no change whatsoever there, so games will run exactly the same on the OLED as they will on the Lite and as they will on the normal Nintendo Switch. But if you haven't got a Switch and you're getting one, the OLED model is definitely the way to go. I highly recommend it. But that's just me. I do love the Switch. I think it's the best gaming console ever made. That's me personally. I'm going to make a separate video discussing that one because I'd love to be able to piss off all the PS5 and Xbox Series X users and PC Master Race, of course. No disrespect to any of them. I had a PS4 for ages until it died. I will pick up a PS5. I have an Xbox Series S because I couldn't get an X, and I will be getting a gaming PC somewhere along the line in the next year or so. But there are reasons why I think the Switch is a phenomenal console. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it helped you out, and I'll catch you on the next one.